I believe the biggest problem in the world is that people don't understand themselves enough. This show is designed to help you understand your INFJ personality, heal from your past, and create a life that you love. I'm Sarah Kuhn, and this is the Quiet Ones podcast. Hi there. Welcome, everyone. Today, I don't have any fancy PowerPoint slides, as you can see. I thought we could just sit and have a conversation. I had a really rough night last night. I can tell you that. I think I mentioned I've been babysitting my niece's dog. He's a 9-month-old golden retriever, and yesterday afternoon he got sick. He's fine, he just has diarrhea, and so I was up like every 2 hours last night taking him outside, which is exhausting and frustrating. I have a newfound respect for anybody who has kids or puppies of their own, because this is my first experience taking care of one completely on my own, and it's exhausting. I don't know how anybody does it. It's making me rethink whether I want kids, which I know is a whole different ballgame from puppies. But plus, I'm not really a dog person. I know that probably makes me like super weird. I just don't like dogs, and I don't like big dogs. And he's 65 pounds already, which is just crazy. So basically, I don't normally have any energy because I'm just not one of those energetic, bubbly type of people. But today I have even less energy than what I usually have. So I thought we could just have a conversation, right? I don't have any fancy slides or any 3 or 5 or 8 step list of anything. I really just want to talk about dreams. And for me, dreams is like this incredibly important subject because it's always been a big thing in my life. Dreams and goals, because I don't like to think about dreams as like something that may or may not happen or something that would never happen. I think about having a big dream and then making a plan to make it happen. And for me, that's what drives me forward in my life, right? That's the thing that pushes me to do things that other people would never even think about doing, that they would just write off as, no, that would never happen. It's not going to exist. And to me, they push me forward and help me become the best version of myself. And I really think, so we talked this past week, I talked about how I worked in NASCAR for a while. I moved to North Carolina for that. I actually moved twice, and that was 1,000 miles from where my family lived. And then I moved to Boston, which was 1,500 miles from where my family lived. And there's been so many things that have been like these big, quote unquote, impossible goals in my life that I was able to accomplish, because I like to break things down in small steps. And I like to say, okay, what do I need to accomplish this? How am I going to get there? This isn't impossible. It's going to happen. It happens to other people. So how do I make it happen for me? So when I started my blog, I kind of felt the same way. I didn't really know how it was going to happen. And I felt personally, I was in a place where I was just lost and confused because I'm so driven by these big goals. And when I started my blog, I didn't have any of those in my life. So I just felt like I was sort of wandering. And I kind of felt like I was wasting my life, my potential. And I needed something to help push me forward. And I needed something to focus on, like a big problem to solve that was something that was bigger than me. I love the challenge of doing something new, right? I like, if I feel excited and terrified at the same time, I know that that's absolutely something that I have to do. I like working a problem until I can find the solution to it. My blog helped me with so many things because it gave me that big, quote unquote, impossible goal. And I liked marketing before that. I liked social media. I didn't know as much about websites as I know now because I've built so many websites for my business. But but I was kind of a little bit scared of building my own website. I didn't know that much about email marketing. Um, but having my blog has helped me to really expand my knowledge of all of those things, of so many different areas in my life. And one of the biggest things that it helped me do was to focus on writing. I wanted to write before that, but I didn't have a reason to. There wasn't anybody that was holding me accountable. It was just like I wrote when I felt like it. And it was always something that I was going to do. It wasn't something that I actively did. It was just always on the list. So having a blog for me held me accountable, and it gave me a reason to do it because I knew that what I was writing would help other people. So if I was writing it for me, it may or may not get done. But if I'm writing it for somebody else, then it's absolutely going to get done because it's a priority for me to help other people. Along with that, writing has helped me work through so many things in my life. I've learned about self-love deficiency disorder, or what some people call codependency. I've learned about boundaries, about time management, about communication, about friendship. And I found my voice, and I really learned how to step into the best version of me. The thing about writing is it's actually, I read some research not too long ago that said that writing will help you work through your past and your present struggles the same way that going to a counselor will help you. And I've definitely found that. It helps so much to write about things. It helps me to sort through things from the past, to figure out what I was feeling and why I was feeling that way, and to work through things and to move through them. And I like to be able to share that with other people too. So I say all this because I know that a lot of INFJs want to be a writer, or they think about writing, or maybe you even already have a blog. And I wanted to give you this opportunity so that you can make writing a priority for you right now. And if you're thinking about starting a blog, I want this to be your sign that now is the time to do this. I created this program called Blog School because I want to help you, to teach you everything that I've learned so that you don't have the same struggles that I had. You don't struggle with figuring out what's the best platform for a website, for hosting your blog, so that you don't struggle with figuring out how to get people to read your blog. All those steps that go in there, social media, email, all those things that helps to promote your blog. I've broken all of them down into this course, and it's like the best version of everything that I've done. It's like if I could go back and start over with the information that I know now, this is exactly what I would do. These are all the things that worked for me. This is everything that has helped. I really want to set you up for success. And I hope that we can continue working together. So some people have sent me a few questions, so I wanted to quickly go through the questions. I know it's Friday, so I don't want to keep you here too long. But the first question is, I would love to do this program, but I just don't have the time. How much time is it really going to take? I completely understand not having enough time, especially now taking care of Goose, my niece's golden retriever. It's crazy trying to figure out how to get everything done. And he's still crate training, so it's like trying to run all of your errands in like 3 hours so that you can be home to take him out again. I can't even imagine having a puppy and a family and still figuring out how to make dinner and get groceries and keep everything clean. I can't imagine how people do that. So I created this program so that it's not going to take up a massive portion of your time. It's not one of those things where you have to show up 4 or 5 nights a week. Definitely not. The content is released once a week for 6 weeks, so it's not overwhelming. You don't have to worry about all of it all at once. And it's really only going to take you about an hour to 2 hours a week to work through everything that you need to work through. So it's not going to take up a massive amount of time. And the information in there is everything that you need and not a lot of extra fluff that you don't really need. Okay, so the next question. I'm not very good with tech, but I'd still like to start a blog. Is it still something that I can do, or do I need to buy a website from somebody else or pay somebody a bunch of money to have them create me a website? It's totally fine if you're not okay with tech or if you're not good with tech. You don't need to spend a bunch of money having somebody else build you a website. There isn't a lot of technical software that you need to buy. The website that I use is very easy to use. And I can certainly help you set it up as well. I'm willing to spend time doing that, and making sure that you know how to run it as well. Okay. I'm not sure I want to put myself out there like that with everything just being out in the open. How did you deal with that? This is one of the biggest challenges for me, honestly. When I was thinking about starting a blog, this is one of the things that almost stopped me, because I didn't want my name on it and I didn't want my face on it, because I thought, well, what if I write something that I don't know, that people are going to judge me for, right? But also, what if I write something and I need to get a different job and my future employer Googles it and they're like, nope, not going to hire you. I was really concerned about that, even with just writing about personality types. But the thing is, I decided that wasn't gonna hold me back, but I also didn't want to put my face out there. So that's why my blog is called INFJ Woman rather than just like my name, Sarah Kuhn. That's why my social media is called that. That's why my podcast is called something other than just like my name. It's not the Sarah Kuhn Show, it's called The Quiet Ones. Because in the beginning, I didn't want my name on it at all. And I've spoken to a lot of other people. One of my good friends who has a blog also doesn't use her name at all. Like, you can't find, she uses what do you call it? Like an alias, or there's a word for it, a pseudonym, I think is what it is. She even wrote a book and it has a different name on it. It doesn't have her name on it. So I would say don't let that hold you back, right? You don't have to use your picture. You don't have to use your name, and certainly not in the beginning. You don't ever have to use it if you don't want to, but you might write your blog for 6 months or maybe a year, and maybe then you'll feel comfortable. But it's fine if you don't feel comfortable in the beginning. You don't ever need to be comfortable with that. I didn't use my name. I didn't tell my friends and family about my blog until I had been writing it for like almost a year. So, and even then, I wouldn't say that they were surprised, but I don't think that any of them ever read it. My mom asked me about my podcast multiple times, and I was kind of a little bit hesitant to send it to her because I think especially the first episode, I sort of dove into some issues that I've had with my older sister that my parents aren't really happy about being public. And they don't talk about their problems the same way that I do. They don't want other people to know about the problems that they have, which is fine. That's completely fine for them. It works for them. It doesn't work for me though, but it kind of put me in a sticky spot with them. But so my mom asked me about my podcast and I sent it to her like the third time that she asked me about it. And a couple of weeks went by and she didn't say anything, and so I asked her if she had listened to it, and she said, well, I didn't really have a lot of time, but it sounded really good. And I said, well, what part did you listen to? And she's like, well, you were talking and there was music playing, and I think that was what I listened to. And I'm like, you listened to the intro. The intro was like a minute long, and that's what you listen to. So, I mean, maybe your family's different. Maybe your family will be like really interested in reading your blog. Maybe they won't, but you also don't have to tell them, right? You can do whatever works for you. Okay. What if people don't like what I write? What if they criticize me? I'm not sure I could handle that. I was really worried about being criticized as well. That was one of the reasons, like I said, I didn't want to put my name on my blog. But what I found and what I was really surprised by is that the overwhelming majority of people are very, very supportive. I wasn't expecting so many people to be like, oh my God, I feel the same way too. I do the exact same thing. That is me too. In the beginning, there was very, very, very few people that were negative. And even now, there really aren't a lot of people that are negative towards my blog. I've come across more negativity on Instagram. There may be some on Facebook. Honestly, I don't pay as much attention to Facebook as what I should. I tend to spend a lot of time on Instagram. But the thing that I found about Instagram is that it's really easy to block people. It's easy. There's a couple different options. You can block people, or you can, I forget what it's called, restrict them, I think is what it's called. So you don't have to deal with negative people. And then there are some people who will give you a hard time for blocking people, which has happened to me. And my response to that is, why would I let people be negative towards me? I wouldn't let somebody stand in front of me and call me names and say nasty things to my face. I wouldn't do that. I would walk away from them. So why would I think that I had to feel obligated to read that kind of stuff on social media? I don't. I'm totally fine with blocking them. That was a conclusion that I came to very early on that was like, I don't have time for this. I don't deserve to be treated poorly, and I'm not going to sit here and accept it. So, Instagram created a block feature and I use it. So yeah, from my experience, I mean, unless you're writing about something that's incredibly controversial or like political or something like that, the vast majority of people are very, very supportive, and they're very kind, and they're very thankful for what you're writing and for sharing your story. The few people that are negative, I wouldn't let them hold you back. I don't let those type of people hold me back for anything that I do in my life. In fact, there are people that have been very close to me. My own family has told me things that were really negative. Things like, oh, you're never going to make it. You shouldn't do stuff like that. Like you shouldn't. Even some of my family told me, you're never going to make it in Boston. There's no reason for you to move to Boston because you're never going to get a job and nobody's going to hire you. And I think it's really funny that I've had 3 jobs since I've been here, and the job that I have now is I make more money than they have ever made. And so I try not to brag about that kind of stuff because I don't like to brag, but at the same time, it's like, you said I was never going to make it, and if I listened to you, then I would never have made it, right? But I knew in my heart and soul that this was the right thing for me to do, and so this is what I'm doing. And I don't care about your negativity. I'm not going to let it hold me back from doing what I want to do and what I love to do. All right, so I have a question for you. What's your plan for setting up and launching your blog if you don't enroll in blog school? Do you have a plan? How long is it going to take you to set it up? How long is it going to take you to figure out where to host your blog, where to get your domain name from, how to get people to read your blog, how to establish a writing practice? How long is it going to take you to do all those things? And do you have anybody to support you if you have any questions? Do you have a support system if you just need moral support, if you just need encouragement? Or if you start doubting yourself? Is there anybody that you can ask those technical questions to if you get stuck on something? if you join, all of those things will be taken care of for you. And the best part of it is too, we have a 2-week refund period. So you can join the program and you can see if it works for you. And if it doesn't within the first 2 weeks, you get 100% of your money back. No questions asked whatsoever. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure that you go and check it out now. You can find all of the information at infjwoman.com/blog school. And it'll tell you there's 6 different modules that we're going to go through. And then there's also a whole bunch of bonuses too. We're going to talk about product launch school, nail your niche workshop, however you say that. I think some people say niche. And then we're also going to talk about email marketing. And then there's a couple of other exclusive bonuses too, that are listed on the website. So make sure that you go check it out. Again, that's infjwoman.com/blog school. All right. So today we kept it very short and sweet because, like I said in the beginning, I'm very tired from not getting any sleep last night. But I have a few more things that we're going to talk about over the next few days, right? So tomorrow we're going to talk about blog tech. I'm going to walk you through some of the websites that I have used and what I like and what I don't like about them. On Sunday, we're going to talk about how to find your audience. Next week, we're going to talk about social media and email, and then also how to sell without doing live launches. Because for most INFJs, live launches really aren't the thing. And honestly, I have made more money from my blog without doing live launches. I've made more money through like email marketing, and a couple of other strategies that I have. So, all right, that's what I have for today. Same time, same place tomorrow, and I'll see you there. I hope that you have a good Friday.